Well, speaking of Joe Biden, in response to that first Republican primary debate, the Biden-Harris 2024 re-election campaign out just this morning with a new ad. It's titled "These Guys." It highlights the issue of abortion, a topic candidates spent the most time actually discussing on Wednesday night. Here is a first look at that ad.
Reproductive health care decisions are among the most personal a woman will ever make. They are choices that should be made by you and your doctor. And the last people who should be involved are these guys.
First of all, I'm the one that got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Florida Governor DeSantis quietly signed into law one of the nation's strictest abortion bans.
Governor DeSantis, you signed a 6-week abortion ban in Florida.
I believe in a culture of life.
If I were president of the United States, I would literally sign the most conservative pro-life legislation that they can get through Congress.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
President Biden and Vice President Harris are determined to restore Roe v. Wade, and they will never allow a national abortion ban to become law. As long as they are in office, decisions about your body will be made by you, not by them.
That spot will run for 2 weeks on digital. It'll be online on your phone in Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Obviously, Ali, the issue of abortion was devastating to the electoral hopes of Republicans in the midterm elections. It's going to be a big factor again coming up in 2024. And those candidates on the stage the other night were all over the place. Tim Scott said, I want a federal law. We cannot allow abortion to be taking place in blue states either. Yeah. So basically making the case against federalism.
Yeah, and when he said that he would sign literally the most conservative bill that he could find, that was in an interview with me where I at one point said, okay, is that 6 weeks? And he even agreed that that was on the table. Even Ron DeSantis, who signed that bill, says he was proud to sign it, but signed it in the dead of night in Florida, couldn't say on the debate stage that he wanted to sign a federal 6-week ban. So all of them are being pushed to the right here. Trump is perhaps one of the people who's a little bit more, we could say, liberal on this issue, even though it's not liberal at all. But this is a problem that I hear about often from Republican operatives. The fact that you've got to get through a primary on this issue and you have to sell it for the evangelical voters that come out in mass, but then you have to pivot to a general where this is a position that is out of step with the 6 in 10 Americans who say abortion should be safe or legal in all or most cases. And I was just in Ohio 2 weeks ago when they did that referendum. The fact that they had 3 million people come out in the dead of August for an election that was relatively spontaneously announced really is a blinking warning sign to Republican operatives that I talk to in Washington who look at this. Maybe it's not a problem for right now, but it's definitely a problem for 6 months from now, because the thing I keep hearing is Republicans are the dogs that caught the car on this, and now they're going to get run over by it electorally.